ever since making the trade centered around RJ Barrett, Immanuel Quickley, and OG Anunoby. One team I've kept my eye on over the last week has been the New York Knicks. Well, the Knicks are undefeated since that trade went down, and today I want to break down and show why the Knicks are a team you can't sleep on in the 2024 NBA playoffs. If you guys enjoyed the video though, then make sure to give it a like and hit that subscribe button and notification bell if you're new to my channel. So last night, the New York Knicks got a huge win over the Eastern Conference's third-seeded Philadelphia 76ers, winning by 36 points and a final score of 128-92. It's important to note that this was Philadelphia's first loss of the season, with Joel Embiid and Kelly Oubre both in the starting lineup, as they were 8-0 entering last night's game when both players started for them. The Knicks are now 3-0 ever since OG Anunoby debuted with the team, and 2 of those wins were impressive, as in OG Anunoby's first game with the Knicks, they beat the West's first-seeded Minnesota Timberwolves, who currently have the best defensive rating in the entire NBA this season. And then, of course, last night beating one of the top teams in the Eastern Conference and the entire league by 40 points. Anunoby has been an absolute difference maker since arriving in New York, and if we look at the team's net rating with and without Anunoby on the court, the Knicks have accumulated a 0.77 net rating in minutes for the entire season without Anunoby on the court, so even before he arrived, and the team has an insane 33.2 net rating when Anunoby is on the court for them. If we look at the ratings in just games Anunoby has played for the team, which I believe is definitely more fair, the Knicks have a horrendous net rating of negative 20.4 in the 37 minutes Anunoby hasn't been on the court for them, opposed to the plus 33.2 net rating we looked at before when he is on the court. If that doesn't show you the impact he's already made on the team, then I'm not too sure what will. Let's look at the Knicks starting lineup though. In their 53 minutes played together, the new-look Knicks starting group has accumulated a positive 25.2 net rating, which is insane and better than any starting lineup in the NBA currently. Of course, it's only been 3 games, but adding a great defensive player to a team that already thrived on defense has seemed to work out for them. Well, of course, like I said, it's only been a small stretch of basketball since Anunoby arrived. The Knicks have had the best defensive rating in the NBA ever since OG suited up for them, coming in with a 102.4 defensive rating, and their offensive rating has been the 8th best in the NBA, coming in with a rating of 121.5. That definitely makes sense, as great defense can typically lead to great offense. Prior to the trade, I did believe the Knicks needed a bit of an offensive spark or to acquire another solid scorer, as they ranked 15th in the NBA in points per game, and their great defense was really what led them to winning basketball games. Well, the Knicks have, of course, doubled down on the defensive side of the ball by acquiring Anunoby rather than acquiring a contributor on offense. And while his defense is what sticks out to everybody, I think the Knicks' recent success has to also do with the fact that he doesn't need the ball in his hands on the offensive end like RJ Barrett or even the former 6th man for the Knicks, Immanuel Quickley, did to contribute to winning basketball games. Here are the Knicks' touches in games from the start of the season to before Anunoby began playing with the Knicks. RJ Barrett was averaging the 3rd most touches per game on the team and also the 6th highest average seconds per touches on the team. And if you want to consider guys who have played at least 25 games with them at that point, then RJ was averaging the 4th most time per touch. Now, since Anunoby arrived, the touches have shifted drastically, as OG Anunoby is averaging the 5th most touches per game and ranks 8th in terms of averaged seconds per touch, allowing other Knicks players to contribute more than they previously were. And while the 3.2 less touches per game by Anunoby compared to Barrett might not seem like a lot, I'd say it's definitely a considerable amount, especially with the 1.06 less seconds per touch OG needs compared to RJ. I think a big reason is how much it's opened up the offense for many other players and only helped them improve their numbers. Randle's improved his shooting from 47% from the field and 28% from three-point range to 48% from the field and 31% from 3, and he's now leading the team in scoring also. Brunson's field goal percentage has dropped from 47.2 to 44.6, and his three-point percentage has dropped from 44.6 to 33.3%, but yet it still hasn't hurt the team, but hopefully he can improve those numbers. But the biggest change has been how much more Isaiah Hartenstein has contributed since Anunoby's arrival. Hartenstein averaged numbers of 6.1 points on 58.3% from the field and 6.8 rebounds, as well as 1.7 assists, 1 steal, and 0.9 blocks per game, to now averaging increased numbers across the board with 11.3 points per game on 77.8% from the field, 11.7 rebounds, 3 assists, 1.7 steals, and 3.3 blocks per game. Those are crazy numbers and have put him among Knicks greats. Against the Bulls on January 3rd, his 10 points, career-high 20 rebounds, 5 blocks, as well as 4 for 6 shooting from the field and a plus 32 rating made him the first Knick with 20 plus rebounds, 5 plus blocks, and 60+% shooting from the field in a game since Patrick Ewing. Also last night, his 17 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 blocks, 2 steals, and 8 for 9 field goal shooting made him the first Knicks player to reach those numbers on 70% shooting from the field since Charles Smith in 1992. So the OG Anunoby trade has helped, and it seems like it's going to help these Knicks players across the board for the most part, and it seems like it could help Hartenstein grab a deal much bigger than his $8.1 million base salary that he's currently making. I spoke very highly of the Knicks bench prior to the trade and in my Knicks video from earlier this season, but I did wonder if the bench would be hurt by this move, as Immanuel Quickley was the 4th highest scorer on the team, but every Knicks player who has played significant minutes ever since OG Anunoby has suited up for the team has averaged a plus-minus rating that is positive, and it seems that this group is solid for at least the time being. Maybe they could bolster their roster or bench a bit with a trade before the trade deadline, but with an easier game against the team with the league's 3rd worst record tonight, the Washington Wizards, we'll see if the Knicks can keep this undefeated streak alive, which I assume they will, and we'll see if this team only continues to get even better. Anyway though, let me know in the comments what you think about the New York Knicks, any players, or any topics I talked about today. And of course, if you enjoyed the video, then make sure to give it a like and subscribe if you're new to the channel. I'm SCJ, and I am out. Peace.